Um, I thought today on this humble Google Doc from February 13th of 2020 that I would take a look at this. This is one of my first adaptable game engines I think I ever designed. This was after seeing the adaptable game engine Fate. So I actually played this after my father got it. I thought, oh, this is cool, but I could make something better. And that's what I decided to do. I decided to start on A.G.E adaptable game engine. Pretty straightforward, honestly. During this video, we're just going to review. Normally, I'd read through this and I would see the points that I had issues with, see the points where I made mistakes, and update it, as I've done with many games before. The goal of this was to create a simple, easy to play, adaptable game engine that allowed for the user to create any character with any ability. When I first played A.G.E, I had a sort of space game, so the players would have freedom with their decisions, and so that they could pretty much choose whatever they want. And one of my favorite characters, I actually drew a picture of them if you want to check out my Instagram. But one of my favorite characters that they created was a bear with two mechanical arms who wielded two axes, one that was like cold and one that was hot. And that was the character. Now, in normal RPG games, you would have set rules and parameters that wouldn't allow you to be a bear wielding two magical, or in this case, mechanical axes. But in this game, it was possible. Um, and honestly, it was absolutely hilarious. Use the following to design and create any character you wish. The extent of age goes only as far as your imagination. Create anything, anyone, in age simulation. Impressive younger me. Creature. You may design and create your own creature or use one from a different RPG. Either way, it should fit the abilities you will choose to design your character with. Do not choose an unrealistic creature unless your game master permits you to do so. Abilities. So you have 50 points to split among the following abilities. These abilities determine much of your character's skills and abilities. I repeat abilities so many times. So make sure to think about your placement of points on these abilities. Consult your game master if you do not understand the abilities, features, and skills. Now that was that's not good, because if you say consult your game master, I was referring to myself because I was the only one who knew the rules and was able to read the rules of this. Blood points. Your blood points equal 10 plus half your character's fortitude. When you lose BP, you put the amount you have in your current BP slot. When doing a heroic feat, hero BP. When doing a heroic feat that may cause injury to your character gains the amount of BP equal to 5 plus your character's wisdom. Willpower. After the heroic feat is concluded, your character takes an amount of damage equal to the amount of BP they gained. This is kind of a heroic setting. You know, like anime characters collapse after they like use their super powerful abilities, and like they gain that like super boost to beat the villain, and then they collapse afterward. That's what this is meaning to replicate. So, as for this part, there's so many different variants and variables. It's going to like be really difficult to dumb down a game that I want to be complicated. But this is too jumbled even for me, honestly. I understand what it says, but I'm sure it's complete jargon to some. Honestly, like when the rulebook does come out of the age schematics, when I create the new age, that's what I'm gonna call it, yes. The new age. I am going to come up with a computer program. I'm going to have one of my programmers design it so that you can just plug in sort of like 6 abilities, and all of these will be calculated for you on that site. And there will be rules in the book to allow you to calculate it yourself. But honestly, I think like that the computerized version of it will allow you to keep the complexity of it, but also make it easier to make characters. I want maybe Like, you know how Dungeons and Dragons has 30 minutes per character, I would say? I want the base stat abilities and that kind of stuff to be 10 minutes. I want you to be able to just jump right into the game because honestly, this whole game is just going to be a sandbox experience. I want you to be able to create things, design things. I want the players to build their world around them. I don't want the players to have to conform to a certain world. All right, anyway, here are the fighting skills. Fist fighting. Half your might or half your agility, your choice. Close melee, half your agility. Long melee, half your might, half your agility, your choice. Heavy melee, half your... Oh, I remember this. This was the quote-unquote advanced combat. It was supposed to make combat more realistic and sort of like... I read a book. What was it called? It was called Six of Crows. Novel by Leigh Bardugo. I'm sorry if I botched that. Bardugo? It inspired me to create a fighting system. There's a lot of combat in this book and really descriptive. But when you have, like, you play Dungeons and Dragons or a similar game, you roll and you hit, and the dungeon master has to describe everything that happens. There's no, like, strategy to the fighting mechanic. It seems like it just takes so much away from it. But this is so complicated. I attempted this years ago. I attempted to test this. There's an aspect too that I want to go back on. I'm gonna have a health system, but there's going to be 3 kinds of health systems in the game that you're capable of choosing from. The hero, which is mass amounts of HP, mass amounts of health, and also you get more health every time you level up. Somewhat realistic, which is like you become stronger as you level up, and some of your abilities that you level up affect your health and its height, and also affect like your resistance to damage and that kind of stuff. But like you can be damaged severely and it takes a while longer to heal, whereas in the hero thing it'll heal like almost instantly overnight. Third, we have the gritty realism, which is like it's not like your average gritty realism. It is like you can have debilitating damage done to you where you will never recover. Multiple broken bones, or like things that'll take multiple months in-game time to recover. It'll be a health system where you will want to avoid confrontation. Also, there will be 3 different kind of like damage systems, which will be like hero, which is like you take chunks of health away. Like almost close to realistic, which is where like you can take more damage, but you're not going to die instantaneously. And then gritty realism, where like some damage can instantaneously kill you. And like if someone shoots you, there is a chance, there's actually quite a high chance that you will die. And a lot of games do not have that anymore. Do not have that like fear aspect. And honestly, I have played so many horror games with my friends where I am just describing the settings and similar things, and they are freaking out, and it is so much fun for them to know that they are not invincible. There's always that one person who joins the team just to troll and is like, yo, I'm gonna go in and fight the boss monster empty-handed or something like that. Like, just goes around, thinks they're a brute and that kind of stuff, like plays the minotaur role or whatever. And I love punishing those people. I love punishing those people in games, and gritty realism is the perfect way to do that. Armor. And so this is where it gets really interesting, because this took so long to make. You'll see so many charts like this from me, where it's just names. This is the customizable part that I was trying to add. Like, you want adamantium? Indestructible. You want some sort of godlike armor? Otherworldly. And if you can see, there is also multipliers to what kind of thing it is. So every time a player changed their chest plate, I had to do the math. In this situation, I should have just written out for each and every one of these. I should have put another thing underneath it and said how much each of these were. It's just a terrible layout. It's a terrible layout for a rulebook. Again, I am going to make an online sort of generator there'll be sections basically of like chest helmet, chestplate, gloves, leggings, boots, and then you put in what kind of thing they're wearing, and then you see how much armor they have overall. That could be a thing I do. I don't know what my armor system's going to be due to the fact that I'm probably going to be using larger dice. I think what happened here is like you would have to like if you had a secure armor on, let's say, and then you had all of this, so it's like one, just to make it easy, armor mod, 1, 3, 6, 7, 8. So you'd have 8 armor. All right. Weapons. Yes, the weapon designs. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Look at this. I had to develop the weapons based on my combat system, which is never a good thing. You want weapons to be independent from a combat system. You want, like, you don't want them to be variant for your combat system